Well, hello guys, and here today on the Rusty Glove Box, what we're going to do is install this power steering unit, and I'm going to show you some of the steps and things that I had to fix and fabricate and decide what to do. So anyway, come along with me and let's check it out. Well, here's the components for my electric power steering that I'm putting on the Studebaker Champ. And this is the EPS, or electric power steering unit, from a Nissan Versa. And if this unit should burn out or quit working, you just go back to manual steering. This is where I took the original mount that goes here and I adapted it to where it would slide in my column. And luckily I had enough exhaust pipe and whatnot, and I was able to fabricate that. And it just goes on here. It has 3 bolts that hold it on. This is what takes a little while to figure out and fabricate how it's going to work. On this steering shaft, I'll probably put a tack here and tack here, and then I'm going to drill through. There's a spot that doesn't have any splines on it, and that's where I plan on drilling through. It's not going to hold anything tight, but all it's going to do is to keep this from sliding up. And so anyway, it's going to keep it stationary. And what I'll do, I'll slide that steering column down through there. And you see how much I have sticking out. Well, that may be too much for some steering wheels or whatever. And the way I have this, I can move that up and down, because I have this, those set screws in there are grub screws. And when this is in the truck, it has a steering clamp like that holds it to the dash up there. So between these and this clamp and the other brackets that I have under the dash, this is a pretty solid system. Nothing's gonna come loose. Okay, I started with a Nissan Versa little steering shaft, and it's telescopic. And what I did, this is a Nissan Versa 09. I took out about 1 inch right here and welded it back in. I gave it clearance, and I could actually slide that tube into the joint yoke right here, and then welded it. It's nice and solid. I shortened the end of the tube just a touch, and then this is a aftermarket steering U-joint. This steering shaft just slid right up in there. I was able to tighten down the set screw good and tight, and then I gave it a good couple of welds around here a couple of times. So that steering shaft, it works really well, and I can put it in or take it out with the EPS installed and the steering box, and I don't have to take anything out. So this thing, even though it doesn't look like much, it took a while to get all that figured out and put together. All right, once you have the unit installed in the vehicle, then this is your little control box. The cables, they just plug right into the box, so this box is going to need to be mounted reasonably close to the EPS. And then the only wire that I need to activate this, and it sends it into limp-in mode or backup mode, you just put 12 volts to it, wait about 5 seconds, and it goes into backup mode, and then that's how you have your assist on your steering. And so here it is, fully assembled, and what it will kind of look like in the truck. And but I had one other challenge that I was looking into, and let me show you, and you give me some feedback on what you think. Well, here we have 2 steering wheels. We've got the original equipment steering wheel, and it's a 17-inch steering wheel. You know, it's that big because this was a manual steering truck, and you know, it served its purpose in the day. But what I'm considering is going with a smaller diameter, and this is a 14 and a half inch. I'm not going with this specific wheel It's just something to mock up with. But because I have the power assist now, I'm strongly considering going to the smaller wheel. Here's some modifications that I did to this steering box. Originally, there was a tube on the outside of this box, and it went on up into the cab, into the bottom of the steering wheel. I removed that, and that left, because there's no internal seal on this kind of left the gearbox open. And what I did is I had some oil packing, that old rope packing, and I was able to work it to where it went down inside here, and it's sealed good and tight. I put a 3/4 inch washer to kind of help hold that down, and then one of these collars. And so everything is working real good. The way I machined this right here is I took the box off and took it to my little mill machine, and I'll show you how I did that. Well, this is how I machined that end on the steering box shaft. And what I did is I took a piece of this double D 3/4 inch steering tube, and I cut it off, and just kind of, I wanted as much sticking in here as there was sticking out. And so what I did is this will slide in there because it is a hollow tube. It'd slide in there just like that. All right, so I would level this up on my little mill, and I'd make a couple of real soft passes, and then when I decided I had this level, then I'd cut the shaft. All right. And when it was all said and done, I'd end up with something like that. This was my test piece to see how that would work, and it worked pretty good. Because this was a hollow tube, I machined a little piece of steel to shove down in there, probably about that deep, and then I welded it on the end real good. And that way, the U-joint, if it gave any kind of crushing force, it had something to push. Well, guys, thanks for coming by the shop today on this installation, and hope y'all got a little bit out of it. This is Rusty Glove Box. Thanks for watching, and I'm out of here.